Yes.
I told Peter to come up with the agenda.
The agenda is showing. I don't know if the members are seeing the agenda. We shall have a prayer. Then
Yes,
a few welcome remarks, and just a recap of what happened in the last meetings. Then we'll have updates from Mr. Mutekanga, the chair, and then Mr. Peter Chisambira will give us the criteria of selection, and then we'll have any questions and answer, and then we close. We want to keep this to 1 hour if possible. So may I request any volunteer to pray for us?
Let me volunteer as we pray.
Thank you.
Chair, I'm volunteering. My name is Florence from St. Anthony Schools, Chira. We are attending this for the first time.
Please go ahead.
I'm praying. Let's humble ourselves as we pray. Mighty Father, we want to thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for this opportunity that we are meeting virtually. We ask you to come and guide our deliberations as we plan for our young ones, for our schools, and especially in the agricultural sector. We pray and believing in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you for leading us in the prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to the third, I think this is the third meeting of this kind. Otherwise, we've had other meetings on the side. And I'd like to welcome you to this meeting. Just give me a minute. Mr. Mutekanga, just to let the members know that this is the third meeting and we'll have one more, which will run on 1st June. And of course, the other Wednesday, we will be in Ginger. We have about 48 schools registered for the exhibition. Of course, we had over 50, but there were some repetitions when one person registers and registers again. So in totality, we have 48, but then we have other institutions also. We discussed the criteria for exhibition that is going to be presented today by Mr. Peter Chisambira, and also discussed other support issues which Mr. Mutekanga will give highlight to. Mr. Mutekanga, with that, I want to request you to take the floor and continue with the discussion. Mr. Mutekanga? Mr. Mutekanga, your mic, okay, we can hear you now.
You can hear me now.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to thank you very much, Ronald, for that very short and brief update. I just wanted to welcome everybody on board. I said we have 48 members on board. We have 48 on the schools, or we just have the...
Those were the registered. Those were the registered for the exhibition, Mr. Mutekanga.
Yeah, those who are registered for the exhibition. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I just want to welcome everybody on board. I want to welcome Peter. I know Peter is online. And I want to inform you that, first of all, the first update that I want to give you is that the Ministry of Education and Sports has cleared us to host the first National Agriculture Education Show. And this was done on 23rd. That's when we had a presentation on 16th, and then we cleared on 23rd. Now, having had that clearance, then now we went into serious movement to ensure that all schools, first of all, to mobilize, to inform, and then also update. I want to thank you members who have joined us in this meeting. This is our third meeting. And I want to inform you that we have had 3 meetings on Zoom. And I thought that we need to have the last one at the venue, just if possible, to see how and where to exhibit. That one we need Peter to plan for. That will be in June. Because at the end of the day, while we are supposed to be there on 8th, I'm wondering if we can have the first meeting on 1st June, to have a meeting at the venue so that everybody knows where he or she is supposed to exhibit. And number 2, I just wanted to remind members that because of the short time we have, we think that the exhibiting schools will do almost all the key activities. We have 5 activities that should be done by schools. The first one will be exhibiting, because the school exhibiting will be able to showcase what it is doing, or what is it able to show that should attract people to your school or your institution of learning. So the 5 activities include, first of all, we are also coming up with the first national agricultural educational magazine, and this we thought would be launched by the First Lady at the official opening of the show. Now, this magazine, we thought that the schools that are going to exhibit should also participate by writing an article about the schools. And this article should be on the theme. And you know, our theme is farming for a prosperous future. So with that theme in progress, we wanted to also to know where these schools exist. For example, I know of the 5 technical schools that have also joined us. I mean the 5 farm schools that we mentioned earlier. And we want them to know what are they doing. A school that is participating and is doing practical agriculture should be able to showcase. So we are planning to have a movement. We want to move as a team. First of all, to look at the 48 schools that have shown interest in exhibiting. And these 48 schools will be able to, we are going to have a documentary. And this documentary will help us to, in form of the pictures and some small videos, so that we can have a documentary about the first agriculture show. And this documentary, we want it to be hands-on. For example, if we visit Sese Farm School in Kalangala, then we should be able to know what Sese Farm School is doing, in terms of agriculture, what its capacity in terms of enrollment, some of these activities. So basically, a documentary in terms of video and in terms of photography would help us also to plan for the next show, that is next year. The other issue that we are interested in is to ensure that we take pictures of children, students doing agriculture practically. For example, I saw a video on Crane High School in Namlana when they're trying to teach children how to turn into to make the animal feeds. I was very impressed actually to see students doing it themselves. to me, that practical aspect was very good, and I liked it, and want to encourage schools to look at to showcase the good practices in terms of agriculture. So the same team that is going to be moving the first day on 9th, asking each school to have an essay writer, and essay writing will be taking place. On the same day, we shall also organize a quiz. We're also planning a debate, and we're also planning some poems on the theme. So if one school, one institution can have 4 students being able to participate in these 5 activities, then that institution will be given an opportunity to participate. And remember, the best school, we are going to have an awards committee which will look at all these 5 areas, and then we shall be able to assess, and then we categorize the winning teams according to school, of course, by sub-region, by region, and nationally. So basically, we are trying to also put in the aspect of competition, and which competition will have to attract some rewards. And of course, we hope next year, when we do the same activity, we shall have more participants coming to this. And this being the first of its kind, maybe it of course has some challenges and loopholes. I just wanted briefly to also tell you that participation is according to sub-regions, and these sub-regions, for purpose of those who have just joined us, like St. Anthony, who has led us in prayer, is to inform you that this country has been subdivided into 22 sub-regions, and these sub-regions are West Nile, we have Acholi, we have Lango, we have Karamoja, we have Teso, we have Sebei sub-region, Elgon, Bukedi, Busoga, Bunyoro, Toro, Rwenzori, Okasese, Bundibujo, and Ntoroko. We have Ankole, we have Chigezi, we have Greater Masaka for the Greater Masaka districts, Greater Mubende, Greater Luwero, Greater Mukono, Greater Mpiji, Kampala, and Wakiso. So these sub-regions we hope that if we can have representation, our planning was that we have 2 schools from each sub-region, and these 2 schools to consider both public, that is the government aided, and the private sector, but also look at the gender aspect, look at the special needs aspect, and we shall appreciate if we can have primary and secondary represented. The third area, which is very important, is the tertiary institutions category. In tertiary institutions, we have the technical schools, that is the post-secondary schools that are teaching practical agriculture, led by Bukalasa Agricultural College, the farm schools that I mentioned earlier, the 5, and the 15 schools that offer agriculture as a subject. We have the universities, of course, University of Makerere, Chambogo, Moni, Busitema, Gulu, all the national universities that wish to participate in this of that category. Then we're also looking at being a Minister of Education and Sports. We normally look at the special category, SNE, and we would be very proud to see children with special learning needs participating in agriculture. So In our previous meeting, I talked about the guidelines, which I'm sure my brother Peter is going to talk about, the different expectations, and I want him to tell us more about the exhibition guidelines. What do we expect you to exhibit if you are participating? Then let alone, I'll come back to give other areas that will be of importance. At this juncture, I want to invite Peter Chilavira, Peter, the director of agribusiness and show manager, Ginger Chisambira, to come back, to give us an update. Since this is a 1 hour meeting, we have lost 25 minutes. So we hope we can now continue. Over to you, Peter.
I can see Peter without a microphone. Peter, if you are, I don't know if you are even hearing us. You need to log off probably and log on again and select the microphone. Peter. As we wait for Peter to come on, I just wanted to find out whether we have tertiary institutions represented here. I can see Dr. Robert Mleveke is here. And last meeting, Dr. Robert had wanted to meet with the tertiary institutions, but I don't know if there is anyone from a tertiary institution who has been able to connect this morning. Please, if you are there, let us know so that we create. Okay. Charles Kige, you are from which institution?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm representing Wisdom University.
Okay, Wisdom University. Okay, so Robert, there is a member here, and at an opportune time, we shall create that breakaway room so that the two of you and others can join in. Anyone else from tertiary
Sorry,
institution?
I'd stepped out a bit. Sorry for that, but I'm available now.
Yes, Robert, I'm saying that we shall create a breakaway room at some point so that you speak to Vositema, but also we are wondering if there is any other person from an institution.
Okay.
Peter Sambira, are you connecting through another gadget? This one is not showing the microphone again.
Yes.
I'm
here. Thank you.
Now you are here. Okay. So Peter, please take the floor.
Ronald, maybe I need to be updated a little bit because I've just joined in. I don't know at which stage.
Yes, Peter, I would like to listen in to the criteria of selection and the support that is going to be given to the schools and how the selection will happen.
Thank you, Ronald. Apologies for being late. I have had some technicalities with the gadgets, but nonetheless, I'm here. Yes, we have agreed that we run a form for expressing interest from the various institutions and schools. And so far we have over 60 schools that have expressed interest in this form. And out of the 60 schools, we've identified 25 sub-regions from which we will be identifying at least 2 schools from each sub-region. Because in total, we want to work with the 50 sponsored institutions and schools, and then the others can sponsor themselves if they have the means. So a team is going to go around visiting the schools as per those that have expressed interest in each sub-region. For those sub-regions that are having less than 2, then the team will visit the schools to see what kind of exhibitions they are planning to have and what they have, what exhibition materials they have, so that the schools can be guided on how they are going to exhibit at the showground. Now, for those that are having, for those sub-regions that are having more than 2 schools that have expressed interest, then a team comprising of the Minister of Education plus the DEO in that respective sub-region will visit the schools and assess the existing exhibition materials and the innovation need to be exhibited. However, I have to note that schools are free for those that can ably transport their exhibition materials, and exhibitors are free to come in and exhibit, because at the showground we'll offer a tent, table, and chairs for all institutions and schools that are willing to come and exhibit in this show. So basically, I think that's what that is the criteria that we are going to use, because since we didn't prepare the schools early enough, we want to assess what is existing. And I hope Mr. Mtekang has taken us through the areas where we can exhibit in terms of either along the value chain. So we want to assess what is existing so that we can suitably choose 2 schools per sub-region. Chair, I submit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Peter. In the last meeting, Mr. Mtekanga went to great length to break down some of the value chain, some of the possible presentations. But like you say, right now it is about what you are able to do. So if you are registered, then the teams need to come to find out what are you able to do on the ground. And that is, I think, what is very, very important. But Mr. Mtekanga, the request was for you to look back and give us some guidance on what is possible. Otherwise, it is also in that video for the last meeting that the members can listen in to. Mr. Mtekanga, is there something you want to add?
Okay, Peter, can you mute? Yeah, thank you very much, Ronald Dungu, for that. I just wanted to briefly take them back through, because we have new members online who are not here and who I think don't have access what I saw. I talked last Wednesday. So I want to thank Peter for that small insight. Our members who have just joined us, we are looking at the exhibition guidelines to look at the areas of the activities that we are interested in. The first one, of course.
Mr. Mtekanga, as you continue, may I alert the tertiary institutions that the breakout room for tertiary institutions is open, and we request the 2 or 3 who are here to join that room as we continue with the discussion here. So let us continue, Mr. Mtekanga.
Okay, thank you very much, Ronald, for that guidance. I was trying to inform members who have just joined us that the most important thing is the exhibition guidelines, which we thought that every exhibitor should do. Look at areas of the first area is the area of value chain, and the value chain that is in terms of production. And when we talk of production, we look at livestock and crop production. The second area was on post-harvest handling technologies, that is storage. The third area that we looked at was value addition, that is processing. For example, if you have dairy, can you take us through how you process yogurt, coffee? How do we process maize flour? Now that we have issues of maize flour, when we talk of yogurt production, cheese production, we looked at the pasteurized milk. We are looking at the tomato sauce, chili, bread, kosher and rice, vegetable, processing of beef into smoked beef and sausages. What to see and learn. We're looking at the area of poultry, and we're looking at how can we add value on the poultry, on the eggs, on the chilled chicken, sausages from chicken. And when it comes to animal feeds, which animal feeds can you make out of the chicken products? Which animal feeds can you make out of the from the dairy, for dairy meal, from poultry meal, for piggery, for rabbits, and even fish pellets? We also looked at the areas of leather, tanning.
Mr.
hides and skin.
Mtekanga,
Yes,
Mr.
please.
Mtekanga, if I can, Mr. Kige Charles, please look on your gadget and join the breakout room. It's showing somewhere on the top left-hand corner. Join the breakout room for tertiary institutions, Mr. Charles Kige. Mr. Mtekanga, please continue.
Okay. I was talking about the value chain in the leather products, hides and skin, shoe making, bag making, belts, and make a few. We're also interested in somebody who can exhibit an area of wine production. People want to take a lot of wine, and wine has a lot of market in Uganda, both in East Africa and Uganda. We have the area of fruits and juices. We have the area of silk production, honey processing, that is the bee wax, the bee, and even shoe polish. And we also looked at the activities along the production, because we thought that when we talk of production, we are looking at the crop production subsector. We are looking at the vegetable growing, maize production, soya beans, cassava, coffee, cotton, tea, and sugarcane. These we used to refer to them as cash crops, but we now want to add in more cash. How do we turn into these raw materials into products? I mean more cash. When it comes to livestock section, we again looked at poultry, we looked at the dairy, the beef, the goat rearing, piggery, rabbits, and beekeeping. Fish farming in Jinja, as you will see when we go there, we have a fish pond, which could also be used for demonstration. That is if you have some good expertise. And basically, this is what we had looked about. The other area is about marketing of agro products. We want some children and our students to tell us more about how do you market your products. For example, the agricultural products. How do you look at the issue of quality and standards, the quality of our products? And we are looking at the areas of storage of both, of course, our products and also the technology and the innovation and the new technologies. So basically, we were looking at all these areas, and we are thinking that given an opportunity, when we visit your school or institution, you'll be able to pick on one or two, and then we can see, we can make also recommendations on which area you can, because some schools have variety, and maybe they would be, for us, we are interested in basically new technologies, new innovations in agriculture in order to attract and change the mindset of Africa, of our Ugandans, especially the younger generation. I beg to move to chair.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mutekanga. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now up for any questions and we get some answers. Peter wants to add something. Peter, go ahead.
Yes, Ronald, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mutekanga, for that elaborate guideline. But let me also add a few areas in order to help our schools that really intend to exhibit and compete in that area. Yes, we will also be looking at are there any innovations along the curriculum, because we now have the revised lower secondary curriculum. So we'd want to see how we are using this agriculture subject to support the other subjects. We'd also want to see how the school is organizing the skilling of students in agriculture. Is it the approach whereby the focus is on agriculture clubs, or the focus is on the entire school? We also want to see maybe agricultural products that are being created and marketed by schools. We know several schools are producing several products and marketing them. So we want to see that. We also want to look at, is there any reference to ICT in agriculture within our agriculture projects in schools? The other area is we are also looking at how does the school collaborate with other schools? If it has an agriculture program in their school, how are they collaborating with other schools across? Then also the community outreach. If a school has something, an agriculture project, is there any linkage or any effort to reach out to the surrounding community? Then also collaboration with the local governments, because we understand now there's quite a lot of resource that is being given to the local government. Is there any form of collaboration? So if for a school that is intending to exhibit, please pick out some of these ideas, package them, and elaborate them during the show, so that we can ably award you and you compete favorably. Thank you, Ronald.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter talked about teams going to schools starting next week, and that will be as per the registration. Somebody is going to call each of those schools and get a program with you. And our friend from Rentanga Farm Institute is asking whether they are registered. Peter, you've been looking at those other institutes. We got a list of all those farm institutes. I hope that Farm Institute is also included, but I want to encourage the person representing that institute here today to make sure that probably their details, or at least a contact number, is placed in the WhatsApp, in the chat room this morning. Then we pick it and then we follow up with you. So those visits will also require you to have a set of your students in the field, so that there are some interviews that happen with the students to know exactly what they are doing, but they should also be fully dressed in a good gear, such that the photographs taken can also be placed in a magazine. There is a magazine for the conference, so that a show that is going to be produced to be distributed during the show. So probably you want your school or your institute or your students to be part of that, and that will happen during those visits. So ladies and gentlemen, please, if you have a question, raise your hand or put it in the chat so that we can we can have responses to the questions. Yes, St. Anthony Chira, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. My name is Florence, and I have two questions. Thank you for the presentation. You've talked about the forms, expression of interest forms. Of course, I said earlier we are new. We've just joined today, probably it may be late. Is it still possible for us to express our interest? That's one question. The second one is about the level of education. Yes, somewhere you mentioned primary and secondary. We are in primary and nursery. Do we qualify? Because we have a school garden and we do some bit of farming. Thank you. And then the other one is said, for documentation purposes, if we are probably not considered, would our school be visited just for purposes of documenting and seeing what we are doing? Those are the three questions. Thank you very much.
Okay. I missed part of the question because you are not very clear. You are not primary, you are not secondary, you are not an institute.
No, we are primary and nursery. Primary and nursery. It's a primary and nursery school.
Yes.
And
then,
of course, they're young. We are just up to
then you,
P3,
you,
but
you
we
are
are doing
part
something
of,
already. Okay. And then the first
Okay.
question was about the form, expression of interest forms. Are we able to get it?
What I'm trying to do is to find the link to that form so that you can register.
Download.
And
Okay.
you register online. It's registration online. Eh?
Okay,
So the form is
I'll do
online.
that.
And somebody was asking that, can we see the list of registered schools? I don't know if that is to find out whether I'm registered, but if you're not sure whether you're registered, it doesn't do you bad to register again. So let me look for that link so that you can register again. Or if Peter, you can find it before me. Mr. Masala has thrown it there. It's in the chat already. So pick it from the chat and register again. That was?
That was direct.
Yeah.
Mr. Dung,
Yes, that was the link.
It was direct. It
Yes.
was direct. They can't see.
We can't see it. It's not on the
it's-
chat, please. Share it with us.
Oh, it was direct to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. There it is. There it is. Just click on that link and it will, or copy it and keep it, then you will register later. So whoever is not sure whether your school is there, please, someone else, you might have hoped that someone else is registering you and they did not. Please do that. Yeah, I'm hesitant to read out the list, but those who are on the WhatsApp groups, we'll throw it. We'll throw the list in the WhatsApp group for your confirmation. Can we have those guidelines typed and sent to us, because the facilitators were very fast. Mr. Peter Sambira, the members are requesting that we have those guidelines sent to the WhatsApp group. Yes, Madam Charissima Annette.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I'm Annette Charissima from Ruentanga Farm Institute. My inquiry is one. You talked of 4 students and 1 instructor. Those who are going to be facilitated. Assuming the institution can facilitate the extra. Is it allowed? Thank you very much.
Yes, any extras can be facilitated by the school. That is allowed. I hope that answers you, Madam Annette. Somebody in the chat says, okay, let me just read what is in the chat. Yeah. No, it is about the list. It's about the list. We shall share the list in the WhatsApp group. Maybe somebody is not in the WhatsApp group now. I need also, please, if you're not in the WhatsApp group, then leave your telephone number behind and we add your name and telephone number. Otherwise, I will also try to get a link for the WhatsApp group and put it in the chat in the next few minutes. Okay, I don't see any other questions in the chat. Anyone else? The most important thing is to prepare yourself, and the team of 4 students and the teacher, or 1 or 3 students and the 2 teachers, should be able to do all the 3 activities, the exhibition, the quiz, and the essay. Okay. David Mwanja. David Mwanja, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. Mine is not a question, but it's just a concern. There is a WhatsApp group for the Agriculture Teachers Association Uganda, where all the teachers of agriculture are members on that platform. But there is some mixed feelings about the agriculture show that this morning a certain member of the platform tried to share, and was like misleading members on that platform that the agriculture show is not academic, does not benefit students, and that he was advising the teachers to only take their students to Kabanyolo, to the Makerere University Institute of Agriculture. That's where it is academic. And I will try to create on the platform that it should stop misleading members, that this time around, this is the first is considered to be called the first National Agriculture Education Show, and it is prepared for the first time of its kind, and it's going to be very academic and beneficial to the students and schools. So I think if you can get in touch with Mr. Kiliman, who is now the chairperson of that association and the admin to that platform, maybe you can share with him so that you can clear this on the platform, so that members on this platform can get the correct picture of this show, which has been organized for the first time, as going to be educational, not the other one they were thinking of that has been always organized, which was referring to that it only benefits the business farmers. This one round is going to benefit schools and the students. There's academic in nature. So I think you need to interface with Mr. Kiliman so that he can clear these mixed feelings on the platform, so that members can come on board. Thank you.
Probably you could give us Mr. Kilimani's contact to be helpful. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not on every platform.
I'm going to share it with you.
Okay.
Let me send it on the WhatsApp.
Wonderful. It is you who are on the different platforms, and we like such information where we need to clear the air. We may not answer everyone's question. The start is always like that. New things always are new to everyone, and skepticism is always part of the game. But what is important is for the convinced team to go ahead and deliver on the first activity. Then next year it will be something that is usual. Otherwise, we always take students to the agricultural show, the bigger one in Jinja, and the very reasons you take them is the very reason you are going to bring them to this show. But most importantly, again, this one is more focused on the school, and you'll be talking to a school. You'll be learning from a school. You'll be learning from an educational institution. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is the very reason why this show becomes very important. Okay, Jen Diana, please. Jen Diana. Maybe Jen Diana is not. Charles Chige. Jen Diana, go ahead. Jen Diana, go ahead.
Yes, good morning. My name is Diana from Makiso, Inspector of Schools.
Yes.
Sorry, I came in late. Mine is a request that if it is okay with you to share the recording of this session for those of us that have joined late, so that we can get the first information. Thank you.
Okay, I will. I hope Jen Diana, you are on the WhatsApp group.
No, I'm not.
How do we share with you then? I also will put it on the emails for those whose emails were registered
Maybe
for the show.
I share my email and contact in the chat.
Please drop it in the chat. That would be helpful. Where is the venue for exhibition? Peter Sambira.
Yes, Ronald. Yes, the venue is going to be at the Jinja Agriculture Show grounds, where we normally hold the agriculture shows, the national agriculture shows of this country. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Chige Chaz. Chaz, I hope you're able to talk as higher institutions.
Yeah, thank you very much. A simple question. As we we have a representative who is going to talk, Mr. Mlerek. On Monday, there was a letter that was circulating in the group that we're supposed to have a physical meeting tomorrow. Will it be there? Thank you.
Yes, Peter, talk about that, or Mr. Mtekanga. Peter or Mr. Mtekanga.
Yes, Ronald.
Talk about tomorrow's meeting.
Yes, we'll have a physical meeting tomorrow, but I think the participants are going to be restricted because of resources, but kindly let the participants in the Eastern region. Thank you.
Yes, the meeting is tomorrow for the participants in the Eastern region in Jinja, and whoever is invited to that meeting will be contacted so that you are very sure. Yes, I've got Mr. Kilimani's contact. Is from Chambogo College School. Navunanwa Samali from Wakiso. The message is incomplete. Diana Namanja, I've got your email. Let me take down the number. Members, anything else? Mr. Mulebeke, I know you have talked as institutions. You don't have to report here, but anything that you'd like us to take note of?
No, I think we don't have to report like you said. I wanted
Okay.
to just give a highlight. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, okay. David Mwanja, that hand has remained up. Is that right? Yes, the recording will be shared. Are the schools which are not going, yes, the schools which are not going to cut out exhibition will be allowed to come to the show. I think the cost is 3,000 per person on entry. And if an organization is exhibiting and it has partner schools and they have their stall already, and they are going, the students are going to join that particular stall, I think the requirements will also be handled by that organization. The details will come to that organization as they book the space. Newton, is that hand still up?
Yes, my concern, I don't know if you have received my contact and my email. I have sent a direct chat. Hello?
Yes.
I've
Yes,
sent you a direct.
I got the email.
And the contact, because I'm not on the WhatsApp group also.
And I have your contact.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, because of other meetings coming on, we'd like to thank you for your time and we'd like to close the meeting at this point and wish you the very best. We shall meet again on 1st June to tie up any further loose ends. With that, I want to thank Mr. Mutekanga, who has been our chair this morning, Mr. Sambira, who has joined us from all the way from Jinja. Mr. Mutekanga, is there anything you want to add before we close the meeting?
Yeah, sure, yes. I just wanted also to thank members for the feedback. I can see the feedback is quite interesting and very educative, especially the other of Kilimani. I know Kilimani. I think we need to talk to him, and then he needs to guide. I think we need to bring the. I think the message is that agriculture teachers. I thought they would strike maybe, but the strike ended, and therefore we should work together as the Minister of Education and Sports. The number 2 is about tomorrow's meeting in Jinja. We decided to have, the first meeting was in Kampala, for Kampala, Wakiso and Mukono. Now we are having the second meeting, physical, for Jinja and the entire Eastern region. We are inviting all the DOs of Eastern Uganda, all the ASHU representatives and other stakeholders for that one-on-one physical meeting at the venue. We have put this meeting at the venue because we want to ensure that we also agree on the actual, so that some people don't know even the show grounds. So we shall plan for a bigger meeting now in Jinja after this meeting tomorrow. Otherwise, all people who are coming to Jinja have been invited either by phone or by WhatsApp or by email message. We have a team that is mobilizing, and I want to thank the DO Jinja who is coordinating this meeting, and I wish to wish everybody a wonderful first National Agriculture Show. That is in June. I want to thank you for listening, and I beg that we meet again on 1st. We shall be giving you more details and updates. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mutekanga. Thank you everyone for participating. I will share the link of the recording as soon as it's ready in the WhatsApp group and on email. With that, I want to wish everybody a good day. Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye.